5, 4, 3. Well, hello, everybody, and happy Star Trek Tuesday. You are in the right place. You are at the right time. Does that make is it possible to even be at a no, never mind. But you found
thing.
Yeah, I'm like, we're gonna get to a timey-wimey thing, and I don't want to talk about Doctor Whom right now anyway. But we have so much news to discuss with all of you. It's a very important day. There's a huge announcement regarding Star Trek Discovery coming up, theoretically. There's an even bigger and certain announcement coming up about Section 31, the new Star Trek TV movie event, I believe is what it's being called for now. Section 31, that is. Of course, we have some big con news. There it is. Ceti Alpha 5. What's going on with that? Well, we've got everything you need to know. Also, Prodigy will make an appearance because John Orchiola is wearing the sweater of ScreenRant.com, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
He's joining us. He's got a lot to tell us because we got a lot of questions and a lot of things to fill in. Walter Koenig is in the news, as always. That guy is everywhere. Also, there is what I think Dr. Anne-Marie Siegel brilliantly calls the Star Trek 14 movie. 14. The Hallmark Channel, A Biltmore Christmas movie. The Hallmark Channel movie called A Biltmore Christmas. Star Trek 14, as you know, John Putch, the director of the movie, was on our show on Star Trek and Chill last week. So much to get into. There's some amazing tweets out there. A very cool. Let's just, let's get off on the right foot here, everybody. Somebody posted this very quickly. This is your free Facebook goodie. It says, calm down, Hallmark. And if you'll notice, all of their movies look very similar. But we'll decide in a minute if A Biltmore Christmas followed in this vein. We'll get all that information. Anyway, of course, John Orchiola of Screen Rant is here.
Hello. Thanks for having me back, guys.
Totally. Melissa Longo is here wearing her Decor Province Major shirt. What's up, Melissa?
Hey, how's it going?
You can get that shirt in any size and color at the Star Trek and Chill online store at the link below in the description box. Open up that description box, click on that link, get your very own shirt. Makes a great gift for yourself or someone you love, like, or want to trick into believing that you like them. Look, everybody, Dr. Anne-Marie Siegel is here.
Hey. I'm taking a break from watching A Biltmore Christmas over and over because it's like my favorite holodeck episode. So
She is the walking exclamation point. Everybody knows. She's also the only person out of the four of us that doesn't have that Arrested Development song stuck in their head. Remember Tennessee? Mm-hmm. John and Melissa and I were singing that before we hit record, and Anne-Marie was like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I wish you guys would shut up. We have work to do. And we were just like, Tennessee, Tennessee, Tennessee. My name's Ryan T. Husk. Let's get up into this. First things first. So we got the Hallmark thing out of the way, but check this out. Here's the tweet of the week, everybody. You may enjoy. Oh, everybody, very important. Please make sure you like this video. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. And if you're listening in, please give us a 5-star rating and a nice review. Why would I give you a rating? I haven't listened to the whole show yet. Just please.
Because it's nice.
It's Giving Tuesday.
It's giving. Very good.
Give us a 5-star review.
Yeah. Okay. Here's a fun tweet. It is from Jerry O'Connell. You may recognize him from his picture right there.
I'm obsessed with his social media.
He says
so much like Prince.
Somebody tweets out, Danny, I never liked Jerry O'Connell for whatever reason. He bugs me. And you know him as Commander Ransom. He's a first officer. His wife is also a first officer on the Enterprise in Strange New Worlds, Rebecca Romaine. He says, "We always strive to provide amazing service, and we're sorry that didn't happen this time. We're very sorry about the situation and are eager to resolve it for you. Please contact at Rebecca Romaine if you have any questions or need anything further." That's cute. And funny.
That guy.
No, that's how you handle a hater.
With love. Pass them along to your spouse.
You send him to your wife.
Pass him to... I know.
Yeah, that's
Typical.
great. We do have very big news that we're going to drop in just a second. But before we do that, hello, Glenn Iverson. Hello, Bob D. What's up, Fran Iverson? She had a birthday last week. Linda Anderegg. Wanda. What's up, John Davis? Chuck A. The Matt Boardman. Hello to you. What's up, Dave Gregory? And all of the people in the live chat. We appreciate all of you. And you came on the right show. What's up, Dr. Susan V. Gruner? She says, did somebody write bugs? Because she's an entomologist. I almost said etymologist, but it's entomologist. Etymologist is the words, right? The origin of words. I learned that from Star Trek because Data one time said, "Query, what is the etymology of that term?" And then I asked my dad, "What does etymology mean?" And he said what he always says, "Look it up."
I thought an entomologist works for Entenmann's and makes cookies and cakes.
Oh,
I love that.
I thought it was a big talking tree in Fangorn Forest. That's a Lord of the Rings reference. If Faith Howell's in the live chat, she got it. That's for damn sure. All right.
I was like, Entenmann's did get mentioned on Julia last week. Fun.
Sue says yes.
Settle down. This is getting crazy. It's getting rowdy over here. All right, back to work. Here's some huge news. Big announcement just happened. Trek Central says breaking. Section 31 sets filming dates. It's finally happening, you guys. Section 31 is going to be filming. It says the DGC has updated today with new filming dates for the Section 31 movie starring Michelle Yeoh, directed by, I don't want to butcher that name, but we know him as Olatunde, and written by Craig Sweeney. It's now slated to begin filming January 29th through to March 13th, 2024. So that's 6 weeks. That's a short shoot for a film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and for all you people out there, casting directors, I'm available. Just putting it out there.
So what do we know, John? Do you have some inside scoop on this? Because I don't know much about it. I just feel like 6 weeks sounds short. Does that mean they're going to do 6 weeks, take a break, shoot more later, or are they really going to knock the whole thing out in 6 weeks?
It sounds like they're going to knock it all out in 6 weeks. So by wrapping up in March, though, that makes it a very good possibility that the film could release by the end of 2024.
That's
really
cool.
Now, think about it. I mean, 6 months of post-production. Let's say it needed 6 months of post-production. That's like October or November.
Yeah.
Yeah, but movies, with all the I mean, it really depends on what kind of show we're doing. If we're talking about something that is, just like a high stakes drama with a little bit of VFX, yeah, end of the year. But what if there's a bunch of ship battles? What if there's some weird projections everywhere? Who knows? What if there's a lot of ADR? I mean, that'd be amazing if it was actually done, but it'd be a great Christmas movie.
So I did some digging on Craig Sweeney, which really intrigued me. And his IMDb is very interesting from a Star Trek fan perspective. So first of all, he did write the teleplay for one Discovery episode, the third episode of the whole series, Context is for Kings, which was like the first episode after that like 2-part prologue. But what really caught my eye is he worked on Elementary a bunch, which is the Robert Hewitt Wolf show.
Yeah.
But the thing that really, really, really caught my eye is
Wow,
he
there's
wrote
more.
he wrote like a third of the episodes for Ira Stephen Bear's show, The 4400. Which
Wow.
I'm very intrigued by. So he's
That was a
definitely
great
show.
he's been hanging out with Deep Space Nine people quite a bit.
Well, this
Are
is
you
a good
suggesting that maybe if he knows and works with Ira Stephen Bear, that where there's smoke, there may be Tic Tacs?
It just seems like he's worked, all of his jobs have been with the just mostly been with Deep Space Nine writers room people who worked on coming up with Section 31. Anyway, I'm intrigued.
Well, it would make sense. Okay, if he's working with Robert Hewitt Wolf, or has worked with Robert Hewitt Wolf, has worked with Ira Stephen Bear, and he's writing Section 31, it would definitely make sense that he at least contacts these people that were the parents of Section 31.
These are his early jobs also, like in his career. Like 4400, I think, was like his first big job. So I assume if he wasn't already a Trekkie, that he was like checking up on his boss by watching Deep Space Nine. So he must be like, I assume he's very familiar with Deep Space Nine. So now I'm like way more excited since I saw all this.
Absolutely. I mean, if he's worked with them, there's no reason he wouldn't at least shoot him an email and ask him a couple questions and I'm saying at the least, at the most,
they all
involve
must be great
them.
Friends, because he was there long enough to work on a third of the 4400 to write a third of the 4400. Super interesting.
What do you think, John? John knows more than he's letting on right now. He's got that look in his eye where he's like, what should I say? What should I not say?
Oh, and by the way, the 4400 had their best recurring character was Jeffrey Combs. So we know that he knows Jeffrey Combs.
Cool.
Wow, there's a lot going on there.
And one of the leads of the 4400 is Billy Campbell, who was the outrageous O'Connor.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's get our red thread out.
I know. Yeah, we definitely need a cork board thing, you know.
I was like, time to heart a bunch of stuff on IMDb to keep track of it.
Let's give everybody a mission in the live chat. Everybody in the live chat, let us know. Give us more, I don't want to call it conspiracy theory stuff, but give us more, digging, more theories. Like, are there any more connections between Section 31 and, the people involved and like more Star Trek things? Someone's going to be like, yeah, Michelle Yeoh's in Discovery. Well, we know that much. we already have that connection. Chuck A says cork board. That's funny. Glenn Iverson says he wrote 1/3 of the 4400. So he wrote 1,466 and 2/3.
That's awesome.
Okay. Well, yeah, John, what do you know, if anything, surrounding Section 31?
Actually, I know virtually nothing about it. Just as much as you guys know. The announcement of the filming dates was news to me as well, but that's also really exciting. I don't know if they will announce anything until filming is done. Because this isn't even an actual announcement from Paramount. This is just a Star Trek website who got the information from the Directors Guild of Canada. So
which is where they had it listed as like December originally.
Right. So it's got to be shooting in Canada, in Toronto, shortly.
Well, yeah, that was mentioned because they're going to share the AR wall with Strange New Worlds and what have you. So
that's right.
But this is a top secret project. The only thing we know is that Michelle Yeoh is the star of it. We don't know anything about the rest of the cast. We don't even know what era it's set in. We don't know what the story is. We don't, except for what was that leak about the blurb about how she's going to tackle the origins of Section 31.
What?
Yeah, there was some sort of that was part of the initial announcement, I think. Something about like the origins or the path of Section 31, I recall reading somewhere, but maybe not. So we don't know anything about this. It's really kind of shrouded in mystery, which is appropriate for Section 31.
Totally.
Yes.
Yeah. We do know, I can make 2 announcements on it. I can say that Mary Chieffo, who played Chancellor Laurel, will be in it. So will Shazad Latif, who played Ash Tyler. Those 2 are confirmed. There's a third that I can't quite confirm yet. So I'm just kidding. I don't know these things. Boy, I wish I did.
I bought it, man.
I wish I did. So
I was writing tomorrow's story.
Yeah.
In my head.
Yeah. No, but those are long. I don't want to call those theories of fans, but they're wishes. I mean, we definitely Ash Tyler should definitely be in it.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm hoping Mary Chieffo will be back in it. They could figure something out, for Laurel, just because Mary Chieffo is such a great actress and she embraced the Star Trek community so much. And you really, you really want to reward those kinds of people, the ones that not only that they nailed their role and they were good on set, but they also embraced the community. Star Trek is going to try to figure out a way to incorporate those kinds of people.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that is true. Well, that's all we know is just
what I can tell you Michelle is Yeoh. I just subscribed to the Star Trek official magazine for their Black Friday sale because I just feel like a lot of exclusive content is showing up in there and I can't stand missing it anymore. So we'll see if they have anything to say about it. I think that the first issue comes out tomorrow.
Glenn Iverson says, I really want Sloan to come back. Now, Sloan actor, we all know, is still around. He's still active. He's out. Yeah, Bill Sadler, thank you. Out in New York, upstate New York. He's been on the 7th Rule as a guest, great guy. He also played Death on the Bill and Ted movie, which was pretty freaking amazing. So he could come back if they go into the future, or the thing is, if this is going to be a spinoff of Discovery, that's going to be 100 years before Deep Space Nine. So that Sloan character presumably would not be alive unless he's a time traveler. If he's a time traveler, then the actual actor, William Sadler, could come back and play. He's just, because he died.
He could be because like in Voyager, which is pretty concurrent with Deep Space Nine, you see like, what is that guy's name? Braxton or whatever. And he's like in the time, what is it called?
Police.
Temporal investigation. The temporal investigation.
Time cop.
Basically.
Time bandits.
So like maybe like they could have picked him up somewhere or something. It's like a sketchy, weird organization like Section 31 in my mind.
John, don't pretend like you didn't love Time Bandits when you were a kid.
I love Time Bandits and I like Time Cop. These are all good films.
Beverly Hills Cop. Throw them all in there. Let's have some fun.
I feel like time travel, in whatever amount that they use, is built into the show because she left the 32nd century.
Yes.
Thanks to the Guardian of Forever. So I don't know how much time travel there'll be in this movie, but I feel like it's part of the story. Which is why, like, I'm thinking she's gonna run around. My pie in the sky wish is she runs around and plucks people from different eras to form her own team.
Whoa, like that would be so cool. Yes.
Right.
Our good friend Dr. Susan V. Gruner says it would be cool if Alexander Siddig would be in it. Yes. What if she did do that? That would be like an 80s cartoon where it's like the Empress goes from century to century and collects the best of every century to create, and then like whatever the name, Section 31,111. And
but it would it probably would be people who want to bring down Section 31 as opposed to want to be part of it. Maybe.
No, Glenn, it wasn't horrid. Glenn says Time Bandits was horrid.
What about Time After
Boo.
Time, directed by Nicholas Mayer?
Or sung by Cyndi Lauper.
Well, I feel like the thing I'm most excited for is Section 31's like sexy style. They have such good clothes and looks and accessories. Love it.
So Matt
Yeah, it's gonna be
Boardman,
a lot of black leather.
the map, that is a great song. Who sings that originally? Black Leather. It's a 70s punk song.
Oh,
Ira Stephen Bear would know.
Well, not Black Velvet then, right?
yeah, that's
no,
a
Black
lot of
Velvet's another one. Yeah, that's a different one. Black Leather, I'll have to look it up.
I know.
So the Matt Boardman says, I don't know why, but I struggle to be excited about the Section 31 movie. As much as I enjoy Michelle Yeoh, I just feel like Section 31 has been overplayed from the coolness of DS9. I've got two things to say about that. Number one, I understand what he means because I feel that way about the Borg.
Yes.
At first, big, almighty, powerful, amazing. And then they they show up in this one, and then this one. And then we grab a Borg and we save him. And then Picard becomes a Borg. And then Janeway makes love to a Borg or something. I don't remember. And then Data practically she blows on his arm hair, and then suddenly there's there's good guy Borgs in Picard, and suddenly I'm just kind of like, all right, so the Borgs are just chill at this point.
Yeah, agreed.
But so I understand what he means about the Section 31. I feel like it had to, it's not at that level. But the other thing I want to say is it's hard to be too excited about Section 31 because we don't know anything about it yet. Once they start releasing details like a second actor, a second character, a third, a fourth, you watch the Matt, you'll start getting excited too.
Time frame. I want a time frame for this and the Academy show so I can like fully embrace it.
Totally.
But I think that Section 31, in my opinion, hasn't been played out. Not nearly as much as the Borg has. And I agree with you with Borg fatigue because they kind of do it a lot. But I don't feel like Section 31 has had as much deep diving into it and its origins and really the function of it. So, and maybe it will demystify Section 31, but I also think it would be interesting to explore what they're about, kind of like Lower Decks is doing with the Orions. They're giving us more Orions than we've ever gotten before. And I feel like Section 31 is kind of similar in that vein.
Real quick for everybody asking, is Black Leather the Sex Pistols? We should have all known that. The Sex Pistols, early 70s. Of course it was the Sex Pistols. It's always them. They're amazing. Anyway, good points, Melissa. Robert Kaiser out in Austria, who stays up really late, says also Section 31 isn't really a movie. It's a streaming event. So probably closer to a TV pilot than a real movie. So I guess that's why it's only 6 weeks for filming. I was thinking similarly. I was wondering if maybe since it has a shorter shooting window that I would have expected, maybe that just means it's going to be an hour. Maybe it's not going to be a 90-minute or 120 minutes. Maybe it's going to be a 1 hour thing. Like back in the day, remember when they would have like a 1 hour pilot or an hour and a half pilot? And if it did really well, they would make a series out of it, but they would use that pilot to kind of test it out. The one that did that, it was one that was called like Journey to the Center of the Earth or something like that. And it was somewhere in like the 90s and they had a cool pilot, but I guess other people didn't agree, but I was a kid. So what did I know? And then I never saw, there was no episode 2. They were just like, look at how cool this is. And you're like, yeah. And they're like, tell the executives. And I'm like, I don't know how to do that. And then they never.
But also like a streaming, like TV was only like 43 minutes of the hour back in the 90s. So you have to like also do the math. Like when it's a streaming thing, that actually is like, like a longer, like a streaming movie is probably like 3 episodes of 90s Star Trek is my guess. just because of all the time for commercials back in those long pilot days.
Okay. Here's something for the live chat before we move on. I'm thinking, what if they just throw in one crazy curveball? Okay, so maybe Alexander Siddig, right? But that wouldn't be necessarily a shock to us. It would be very exciting. But what if they just threw in a total rando, like Linda Park of Enterprise, right? Hoshi, or Anthony Montgomery, right? Travis Mayweather.
Oh, that would be cool.
Right?
Or the,
like just
or the thing I wrote up, Soji.
Soji, that's a great, right.
Yeah.
I loved that idea. Yeah.
That's a
She's
perfect
she's
idea.
a traveler. Like with
well,
Leslie.
no, that's Corey Soom.
Sorry.
Soji,
okay.
Soji, why wouldn't Section 31 want their own, why wouldn't they want their own data? Why wouldn't they want their own super smart android?
This is true.
Soji 31.
Very true. But it also lends credence to your idea of her going through time and picking her favorite people from each crew or each timeline to be part of her crew.
Oh, it looks like they have, okay, so we have Michelle Yeoh. They've announced the actors for the next 6 characters, but not what the characters they are portraying. Those 6 are Jeffrey Combs, Jeffrey Combs, Jeffrey Combs, Jeffrey Combs, Jeffrey Combs, and Jeffrey
Agamus?
Combs.
And Agamus?
Agamus.
Agamus.
He's playing the other 6 characters. That's what it is.
Oh.
Yeah.
Agamus and Peanut Hamper.
So yeah, everybody in the live chat. Oh, John Davis had a great idea. Trip. Charles Trip Tucker.
See?
He didn't die.
He's not dead.
He just time traveled. He just disappeared.
Yes.
He was taken by Section 31, and now he's out Section 31 and surfing the time. I don't know. The time loop.
Oh, he's
but everybody in the live
spy.
chat, let us know your thoughts.
There are definitely no surprises on the IMDb entry so far.
Interesting. All right. So let's move forward. There's really mostly all we can do is speculate. We now know the shoot dates. We don't know if that's the entire shoot. Could be, maybe, probably.
Well, and we don't know how much has gone on behind the scenes as far as tech stuff that they could have done prior to the actual shooting.
So here's the next item up for bid, everybody. There's something interesting going on the internet where Trek Central, Paramount Plus, everybody on the internet is announcing this giant announcement that Star Trek Discovery Season 5 heads to CCXP. Paramount will beam down on Saturday, the 2nd of December, with Sonequa Martin Green and Michelle Paradise, who is the co-showrunner and executive producer of Discovery. So this has been popping up all over the place. OMG, Sonequa Martin Green and Michelle Paradise are going to this, dare we say, random convention in Brazil. CCXP 23. So the question is, why are they making such a big deal of this?
They need a date to announce. They need a convention of some sort to announce the Discovery date.
Right. It's probably the only thing that's going on in December, because they couldn't do it before because of the strikes, and they don't want to do it in February.
That matches their schedule or something also. So I think there might be something in Europe.
So do you guys think, as a lot of people that are theorizing, that the reason they're saying this, the reason they're directing everybody's eyes, like, hey, everybody, look, check out this convention you've never heard of on the other hemisphere, where it's summer, by the way, and the water runs in a different direction when you flush it, apparently. Do you think they're saying that because the two of them will be making a big announcement? And if so, is that announcement finally going to be when Discovery season 5 premieres?
Okay, so 2 things. One, when you flush a toilet in the Southern Hemisphere, it's called the Coriolis effect. We learned that on The Simpsons when they went to Australia.
That what? It does, it flows in the opposite direction, right?
Yes, it's always in like detective novels. Like that's how they know where they've been like kidnapped to.
But when I was in Brazil, I didn't notice the directional. Well, I don't notice the directional thing here.
When you're not staring at it constantly.
Yeah, you don't like
No,
wave
I
your
didn't-
stuff goodbye when you're bye, and you're like, wait,
No.
you're going in a.
You know,
That's not the way it usually goes. Wait
Yeah.
a minute. Didn't
2,
notice that.
CPXP is actually a pretty big deal. It's the big Brazil Comic Con. It's their equivalent of San Diego or New York. The major studios do send stars down there. They do make big announcements. They send big films down there. So Paramount Plus probably, you're right, did see that this is the biggest thing coming up on the calendar that they could make a Discovery announcement for, because there's been absolutely nothing.
Wait, what about LA Comic Con? Did they forget there's a city called? First, they take all the filming away from LA, and now we literally have an LA Comic Con that exact weekend. I believe it's this coming weekend.
Yes, this weekend.
The biggest convention in LA, theoretically, and they're like, huh? Oh no, we're gonna go to Rio
Brazil.
or whatever.
And there's no Star Trek at LA Comic Con, because otherwise I'd be going to LA Comic Con. There's nobody from Star Trek there.
What are they doing?
That Screen
What
Rant
are they
should send
doing?
you to Brazil.
Screw it, send somebody else to
We need
Brazil.
boots on the ground.
The way you said that, Anne Marie, sounded like you're like mad. Like, send him to Brazil.
Yeah, we need
That'll teach
reporting.
him.
Yeah, no.
Go enjoy the sandy
Send all of
beaches in
us.
summer weather.
Yeah.
So that's why they didn't do it at LA Comic Con if there's no Star Trek presence.
Yeah.
Well, is there any in Brazil? Just those
Well,
two,
for all
right?
we know, also maybe
CCXP is a big con. It's,
and
Okay.
Paramount
It's the
might
one-
be like a big sponsor of it, like they are for some of the other cons.
So, John, do you think they will be announcing the dates? And if so, what do you think those dates will be? What are you hearing?
I don't know anything. That I'm also going to be. I'm kind of working on Saturday to cover CCXP, at least the Star Trek part of it, because we are expecting finally something big, some big news about Discovery. Whether it's the release date, hopefully, a trailer would be great, because it's been the same trailer since October 2022 when they released it at New York Comic Con way back when. I'd even settle for some key art. I'd love a poster. I'd love something new to look at.
I mean, it appears that Brazil or Paramount has a big presence in Brazil, because they have like 5 official Paramount Plus Brazil accounts on Twitter alone. So my guess is like they sponsor it and have like a chunk of time on the main stage.
Yeah. So something big is going to happen. I think we will get the release date. It makes no sense not to finally give us a release date.
Right. Yeah. I think that I think it's just a convenience thing. They want to give us a release date, and they said, all right, they looked on a calendar. They said, okay, this has got to be it. The strikes are over. We'll make an announcement. Let's get up in this thing. And, with the connectivity of the internet, it really doesn't matter where you make the announcement. You can make the announcement in Kansas, for God's sake. Oh my God. Can you believe Kansas anymore? But, doesn't matter where they make the announcement. It'll go all over the world and we'll all go nuts for it. Do you have any guesses? What do you think? February?
Yes. February or March is when I think it'll happen.
I think it's going to start somewhere between February 15th and February 19th, because those are the exact 5 days of virtual TrekCon 5, everybody. We have so many big announcements to give you tonight about virtual TrekCon 5. We have categories of the Lappy Awards. We've got finalists to announce, as well as the final little bits of categories, the final categories for you to vote on starting on Friday. We'll be announcing those tonight. We will also be announcing, this is it. This is the moment you've all been waiting for. the theme. We've been teasing the theme of Virtual TrekCon 5 for so long that most of you have forgotten we've even done it. So we're going to be announcing that theme, and that theme will be all over, infused in those 5 days and infused in our key art. So stay tuned for that a little bit later, everybody. That's my prediction. I think that they're going to be doing it on February 15th, because that's a Thursday. And I think that they want their first day to really be kicked off by Virtual TrekCon 5. They're like, what's the biggest day we can do? And they said, somebody was like an intern was tapping on the calendar and went, February 15th.
The day after
5.
Valentine's Day.
No, they're like, Valentine's Day. Virtual TrekCon 5 is the big way to go.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I think so. I just looked up CCXP, which has 350,000 Twitter followers, and Paramount.
That's great.
So Paramount does have a huge thing in like their equivalent to Hall H, which looks massive, and they have like a huge chunk of time with their top shows, getting like, you know, like they do for Star Trek Universe or like whatever. So yeah, it looks like so major that they're at least going to drop a trailer.
But does Star Trek even have a big following in Brazil?
Yeah,
I mean, we know one. We know Lucia.
I
Yeah,
know
one.
Lucy in the live chat. I was going to ask if she was going to go, but she's not here today. But
Oh, blast.
Yeah,
there's like one.
No, well, first of all, I think in
group,
Trekkies too, they go to Brazil. I'm pretty sure, with Denise Crosby, and I mean, clearly they must.
Here are
Star
the
Trek is
5.
big all over the world.
Here are the 5 biggest countries in Star Trek fandom, according to my observations, and I think we could pretty much verify it. Number 1, USA.
Hard science.
Number 2, UK. Number 3, Canada. Number 4, Germany. Number 5, Australia. And then there's like a bigger dip, and then made me raise my hand. And then there's a big dip, and then it's everything else, you know. So maybe Brazil's in there somewhere. In that 6 to 10 range. All right. So that's going to be big news. I cannot wait. That's going to be this Saturday. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Man. Henry, you looked so confused by that. Is it not this Saturday?
No, for some reason I was thinking 12/5, but it was, I don't know. I probably remembered it wrong. And just deep in the weeds of looking up Star Trek Brazil groups.
It is Saturday the 2nd. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's big news. Everybody stay tuned for more information on that, because we surely will be getting more information on that very soon. And then everybody can start planning the new year. You can be like, well, I can't go out of town. Discovery's starting on that date. We'll have to do it sooner. Now, there's another big news item. God, there's so much news. I can't believe it. This is great stuff. This is an article from our good friends over at screenrant.com, written by Mr. John Orchiola, who's in our presence right here. Look at that. It's Jonathan Frakes, the ever charming, the lovable. He's going to play Santa Claus one of these days. And if you'll notice it, John wrote a nice long article on it. That must mean that you may have seen the movie. If so,
I sure hope so.
Because Robert Picardo's in it as well. Jonathan Frakes, Robert Picardo, John Putch directs it, who was this guy, Mordock. He also played Mendon, the Benzite. So it's a Star Trek movie.
From the Waltons. It's so good.
Yeah, it's a really nice Christmas film. I was pleasantly surprised. I guess I was pleasantly surprised. It was very good. So yeah, Frakes was great. Robert Ricardo only has a couple scenes, but he totally chews the scenery. He's hilarious. Yeah, it's a fun little story with a little time travel. So it's got that little Trekky element to it. Yeah, 2 thumbs up. Highly recommend. Watch it right now.
The other funny thing about it is that basically I mean, we already talked about the premise on Friday, but there's a lot of like, so basically like the premise is that there was an old movie from the 40s about Christmas that's like basically an It's a Wonderful Life type, like super famous.
Premise.
Yeah. So when they go to modern day and they go to Biltmore, the Biltmore has this tour for fans to come who are fans of the movie. So you see a lot of fandom. And I feel like the way that Jonathan Frakes interacts with them and talks to them is somebody who is very familiar with crazy fans, like, and isn't fazed by it. It's really fun.
Well, yeah, and he's really magical in this. But I mean, Jonathan Frakes always has kind of a twinkle in his eye, no matter what he's in. He's always got some kind of secret going on and some kind of little joke going on, or something jovial, going on behind in his brain. And he really fits Winston very well. He plays Winston very well. He seems magical to me.
Now I'm in the Christmas spirit, so I had to get out my Christmas bracelets. So it's so good. I can't recommend it enough.
Really, that good?
It's really fun.
Oh, so everybody, make sure you check that out on the Hallmark channel. It's called A Biltmore Christmas.
About a Hallmark channel.
And it's got Commander Riker. It's got the EMH doctor. It's got Mordok and Mendon. It's got Thomas Riker. It's got Dr. Zimmerman.
The president of Earth.
And it's streaming on Peacock.
Oh,
if
right.
You have Peacock.
Yes.
And John, really fun thing is you have like Peacock, so you could watch wrestling, huh?
That's 100% the reason why I have Peacock.
Yes. Absolutely. I'm with you, man. You see, Dr. Anne-Marie Segal, if you subscribe to Peacock, which is cheaper than most of the others, I think it's like $4.99 or something like that.
Cheap.
You can watch all WWE wrestling. It's nuts. You'll love it.
I know. I subscribe to watch Girls Five Eva.
Because look, CM Punk is back. This is big news.
Oh my God, yeah.
He's going to feud with Seth Rollins so hard.
It's already all set up.
Yeah. But do you agree with me, John, that they haven't been using Drew McIntyre very well lately?
He would agree with you too.
Really? Is that they're not using me right. Actually, that does kind of sound like him.
Yeah,
I'm Drew McIntyre.
It's pretty good. Yeah, no, there have been rumors that Drew's been unhappy with creative for quite a while. And his contract's going to be up soon, so he might be considering leaving WWE, but we'll see.
Oh, man, they're going to blow it. He is one of the best things
amazing.
They have. He's, to quote the great Gary Radnich, he looks like something. He looks like something. Dude's like 6'6", long black hair, muscles for days. He talks funny. He comes out with a giant sword and a kilt.
So we need images
like
of this guy.
Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, you can totally deliver that.
People are like, wait a minute. I thought we were talking about Section 31.
I met him in 2010 at SummerSlam here in LA. Back when he was the chosen one, when he was still like young and skinny, before he got really big and before he grew the beard.
Right. Oh, here's one with a sword. Okay. So real quick, this is for you, Dr. Anne-Marie Segal, because I know you're into wrestling.
You want to see Drew McIntyre.
See, this is what he looked like before he got good. He looked like this geek.
That's when I met him.
Wow.
And then he got crazy good.
And then he
became a man.
He looks like somebody who belongs in Game of Thrones.
Yeah. So anyway, and here he is with his sword. I think he calls it like Bessie or something like that. I don't know.
Something like that, yeah.
Bessie. He looks like somebody, and he talks funny.
Okay. Well, not to go back to Star Trek, but
this
does remind me, Jake Black, who works for Paramount Streaming for Star Trek streaming, he also used to work for WWE. So that's the
Anne-Marie, we're talking about Star Trek here. Can you please just stick to Star Trek?
I meant to say he actually wrote a short story for Star Trek Explorer magazine, I think the digital version comes out tomorrow, and it's all about Nog, and it's really
Aw.
sweet.
Oh, I gotta buy that.
Yeah, that was the
I
other
think I
impetus
need
for
that
me
one
to
too.
subscribe. Yeah, it's
Star
really
Trek
good.
Explorer magazine.
So like they have a
Check it
Black
out.
Friday sale for $24. You can get a year, which is 4 magazines, and they have like all this good content. But Lisa Klink writes for it. Lisa Herrera actually has a collector's column in it. I'm not sure if it's every magazine, but I've seen like screenshots of it, and we love
Nice.
One Trek fans.
Oh, here it is.
And
Yeah.
Larry Nemechek has a column every month.
Look,
Is that
John
the cover of Star Trek
Orchiola,
Explorer?
I believe you're out of time here, right? I think you have to
Oh
run.
yeah, good. Yeah.
Yeah, time. This is the key. John will forget he has to leave if you start talking wrestling.
Yeah.
And we have many more days of talking wrestling ahead of us, John. Thank you very much for joining us. Screen Rant really got a gem. You do cover Star Trek for ScreenRant.com. You also cover AEW Wrestling, which is a very up and coming. Basically, it's like the second wrestling company that's coming up, like, and NWA, WCW in the 90s, or what was the one 10, 15 years ago with the six-sided ring?
TNA, they're still around.
Yeah. They got swallowed, or they died or something.
Oh,
Anyway.
They've hung on for like the last 10, 12 years.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that they died. And then there was like Global Wrestling something too, with
that was like
green.
in the 90s, so a long time ago.
No, that was like a newer one, like maybe 10 years ago. I think Jeff Jarrett tried to make it happen.
I'm reading Anne-Marie's face.
It was like Global Force Wrestling.
She's gritting her teeth.
I love this.
Wait, what?
Yeah. No, I thought TNA went under.
No. They called themselves Impact Wrestling.
I just thought that they're called TNA.
And then they went back to being TNA.
That's a coincidence, Anne-Marie. It was total nonstop action is what it stood for. That's a total coincidence. I'm sure they didn't mean it.
It made me think of
Jeff Jarrett had no idea what he was doing.
That song in the chorus line.
Yeah, he was so embarrassed, but was like, well, we already got the...
I know, we put the copyright in.
That's the theme song, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, well, thanks, John. You do a great job. We appreciate you guys.
Thanks, you too.
Keep up the good work. We've got more articles to pull up of yours, too, in a little bit. We'll see you soon.
Cool. All right, thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
All right. That was fun. So Drew McIntyre's having a new feud right now with, okay, we're done with Drew.
Well, I was noticing his undies, and they don't look like they breathe very well.
Those are wrestling tights, not undies.
Oh, okay.
His undies. Yeah, guys just go out in their undies. They're like, hey, don't forget your undies. I got them. I got my Spider-Man underoos ready.
They don't look like that.
Oh my gosh.
It looks like they're made out of pleather. I don't know how well that breathes.
Pleather is a very good brand of vegan jerky, by the way. Everybody check that out.
Oh.
All right, but back to Anne-Marie's going to blow a gasket if we don't start talking about Star Trek soon.
I'm so amused that there's a company called TNA. It's so
Anyway, so up next, this is huge news. I'm telling you, I know I sound like a broken record, but there is a lot of huge news. Right now, there's somebody in the live chat rightfully saying, then why do you keep talking about wrestling? Fair point.
I know. Fran has left the building.
All right. So this is from our friends over at trekmovie.com. And the news was Nicholas Meyer gives us an update on Star Trek Con, Ceti Alpha 5, and why making it an audio drama is perfect. What do you guys think? You read these. You know how he feels. What do you think?
I think
audio
it's
drama perfect.
Brilliant idea that hasn't been touched upon nearly enough in this age of streaming and podcast and all of that. Yeah, I think it's brilliant.
like who knows where they can go from here? It's great.
Yeah.
And while you have like writers who are steeped in the history, why not have them working? The other thing is the funny thing is how everything comes around.
You have like a Star Trek hairpin.
I got a headband at New York Comic Con.
Oh, that's so great.
It's so fun. They had ones with Enterprise too. It's like an actual badge, so it's kind of heavy. But don't tell Tuvok. He doesn't like Star Trek he doesn't like uniform accessories worn incorrectly. But the interesting thing is like how everything comes around and is cyclical. Like before there was TV, there were there were radio dramas, which I love. I think they're so fun, and they really like, even though there's no image, I used to listen to them all the time on the radio. They really like sweep you up. So I just feel like, why not bring them back? And it's such a great medium.
Yeah. And he talks about how the medium uses probably one of the biggest tools that gets overlooked across the board in any art form, and that's the imagination. And there's no training that you need to use to spark the imagination, and listening to these radio plays or radio dramas is really good use of that tool of the imagination, which is awesome. I love that.
I just watched a series that was about it's called like WREN Radio or something, like Remember When Radio. It was an AMC show from like the 90s. Yeah. And it's basically set in like a 1930s radio station where they're making basically audio dramas. And it is cool, like the sound effects that go into it and the music. And it's such an art form and really like showcases the sound editors, which Star Trek has like an abundance of amazing sound editors. So I just feel like this is a match made in heaven. And I can't wait. And I really hope it spawns more projects like this.
Agreed. Yeah.
Those are great points. And I also agree. Glenn Iverson in the live chat says, I miss the days of Hulk Hogan, Macho Man Randy Savage, Rowdy Roddy Piper, Andre the Giant, and Ric Flair. Glenn Iverson, here's a bit of trivia for you. I met one of those 5 guys you mentioned. I met one of them. Which one was it? And also, here's another piece of information. Do you remember the wrestler Leaping Lanny Poffo? He later was also called the Genius Lenny Poffo. He was actually Randy Macho Man Savage's brother.
What?
If you can believe that. I know. Randy Oh, yeah. That guy. Yeah. His brother was Leaping Lanny Poffo. Anyway.
Yeah, see, that's when I watched wrestling was with those guys.
Still going on. He was in TNA wrestling, Macho Man. Anyway.
Wow.
Yeah, Main Event Mafia. It's pretty cool. So back to this audio drama.
Oh.
I think it's going to be...
Oh, yes. Foley artist was the other word I was looking for. The sound mixers, editors, and the Foley artists. Yeah.
Foley artists are so freaking creative, especially with something like this audio drama. So the question is like, is it just going to be people sitting around a microphone and reading lines? I mean, first of all, when you do an audio drama, that means you can travel in time. And I mean travel in time with actors. Exactly. That means Tim Russ can play, for example, Tuvok on Voyager. Nowadays, he can't do that because he's much older. I mean, I know there's technology and stuff, but anybody can play anything at any time in their life if it's just an audio drama.
Like Walter Koenig.
Like Walter did, right, in Picard.
Exactly.
So these are great because it really opens up your mind to the possibility that you can do practically anything when you go into audio dramas. So maybe they're kind of opening that door to see what can we do, what can't we do. But
we have Khan mentioned twice recently in series that are out now. So I also wonder, is like, it just seems, especially that Picard Con reference seemed so random.
Right, I'd forgotten about that one. Strange New Worlds was the obvious one.
Yeah. So I feel like they're just like, why would they have said that? at least on Picard.
Yeah. I've been waiting for them to tie that up or revisit it somehow. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, and Strange New World's been covering it. Obviously, we know the connections there.
Massive hit of an episode that's like showing up all over the Lappy Awards tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow.
It's a good one.
Yeah. I was a fan of, well, we'll get into that a little later. So the other thing is, are they just going to have actors around a microphone, or are they going to throw a ton of money at it and do like, have the Foley artist when they go, well, I was just walking over here, and all of a sudden you're like, how like they would put like the people's feet, or like, oh, I'm fighting, and they're like busting cantaloupes to make it sound like their face exploded or something.
That's a fun job.
Very, very creative job. The people that do that, and they're always like, oh, what? I just get you need a guy breaking his arm. All right. And they get celery sticks. They're like, that's what they do. It sounds great.
They're like Dan Curry.
I was totally thinking that. It's like the guy who did the Christmas light alien and like Ugly Bags of Mostly Water. Just so random. Love it.
Wow. And it makes me think of Annie.
Exactly.
Annie.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're not fully dressed without a smile, Ryan.
Yes.
The only Annie I know is fanny pack, because that makes me look cool when I wear it outside. My fluorescent pink fanny pack from 1990.
Wow.
John Orchiola says in the live chat, who will they cast to voice Khan? Benedict Cumberbatch.
Man, I thought about that. They were definitely going to find
wondering.
somebody good for it. I'm not saying, John, that Cumberbatch wasn't great.
But he's not Khan. He's not Khan. I'm sorry, but I like him in other things. I think that was just miscasting.
It was weird. It was definitely, they had an Indian guy, and then they had like a Mexican actor playing him, and then they had a British actor playing him again. Like, why not just get an Indian guy? I don't know.
Well, I would have thought like they would do like his early years based on like how Strange New Worlds just had him in an episode, but then obviously they say Ceti Alpha 5 in the article, and that's been announced, so we kind of already know the time period for this one's more obvious.
Yeah,
you're right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, interesting. And John Orchiola also reminds us he was also the genius Lanny Poffo. That's right. It was a better gimmick for him than Leaping Lanny. I didn't even know what's this Leaping Lanny Poffo? Right, Anne-Marie?
Yeah. And then of course, we mentioned this before, but Nicholas Meyer was a guest on Larry Nemechek's Portal 47 open house a week or two ago. And he mentioned like, well, who knows where this could lead, if it could lead to something on the screen.
Right.
So I guess all options are open.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, we have so many more announcements to make. Are you guys ready to hear some Lappy Awards announcements? Everybody in the live chat's going nuts for it. They keep going, we don't care about Star Trek. We want more wrestling and Lappy Awards talk. All right. So let's announce the finalists for the Lappy Awards for this week before we announce the final categories. Here we go. In the category of which is the funniest episode of Lower Decks Season 4, we have episode 6, Parth Ferengi's Heart Place. Episode 1, Tuvix. Episode 4, which is Something Borrowed, Something Green. That's a fun one. That was the one with the Orions, right? That's a good one.
Mhm.
And then we have episode 2. I have no bones, yet I must
Ah,
flee.
whoopsie.
It's that one.
Interesting.
Whoopsie.
Like a lot of these, I really had no idea. Like I couldn't have guessed. They're all so good.
Hmm. So, Dr. Anne Marie Siegel, would you like to announce the next one?
Yes. Okay.
There it is.
All right. What is the biggest wow moment of 2023? So that includes moments that were shocking, scary, powerful, amazing, or just made you say, wow. And every time I hear wow, I just think of how Aaron used to say, wow. So, I mean, I wish this is a really Aaron category. But basically we had a ton of different options. And the finalists are Worf slays Sneed as revealed to be Raffi's handler from Picard season 3, episode 2, Disengaged. Then we have the Enterprise 1701D reveal, which is when you just see the ship. And that was in Picard season 3, episode 9. How do you say that? Vokes or Vox? Because the O has that like
Vox.
wiggle thing
It's
over
Vox. Yeah.
it. Okay. Then you had Enterprise 1701D Bridge with this TNG crew of 7, and you get to hear Magel's computer voice. That was also from Vox. The next one is the introduction of Montgomery Scotty Scott, which was such a good moment. That was in Strange New World season 2 finale. Hegemony? I always forget how to say it. Then we have Spock and Nurse Chapel kiss. Nice to see that one made it. Strange New World season 2, episode 5, charades. So good. And then we have 2 Lower Decks. So Lower Decks season 4, Big Bad, is revealed to be Nick Locarno. I mean, that was a pretty wow moment. And then that was from episode 9, Inner Fight. Then we have Ro Laren returns to Star Trek. Oh, so it was just one Lower Decks. So then it's Ro Laren returns to Star Trek Picard season 3, episode 5, Imposters.
Great. So that's a lot of fun. Now, everybody in the live chat, we've got the next one for you. Melissa, would you like to read this one?
Okie doke. Ahaha. What is the funniest moment of 2023? Beheadings are on Wednesday. Worf, Picard, season 3, episode 3, 17 seconds. I love that moment. And I will make it a threesome. Worf is a funny guy.
Worf, you little rascal.
Worf is a funny guy.
And then
Picard.
Riker goes, do you even hear yourself right now?
No, it's amazing. Picard, season 3, episode 10, The Last Generation. Rutherford and Boimler discover twaining. Oh my gosh, be still my heart. I love that. Lower Decks, season 4, episode 4, Something Borrowed, Something Green. Is this a rescue mission or a continuation of the torture? Riker. Yes, I love that moment too. Riker, as Worf, tells Deanna how much he's thought of her while rescuing them. Picard, season 3, episode 8, Surrender. Klingon K-pop. Wow. Strange New Worlds. Season 2, episode 9, Subspace Rhapsody. Boimler maneuvers into a saddle while saying Riker. Strange New Worlds, season 2, episode 7, These Old Scientists, Those Old Scientists. Ferengi Genesis device has a paywall. That's funny. Lower Decks, season 4, episode 10, Old Friends, New Planets. Worf, napping on the bridge.
Worf napping on the bridge. Yes. that
best moment on television ever. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I don't want to sway anybody's decision, but you guys, Worf napping on the bridge is not just the funniest thing I've seen, or one of. It's the cutest fucking thing. Oh, we should have had a cutest.
Cute.
Anyway, please continue. There's one more.
So that was Picard season 3, episode 10, The Last Generation, and Boimler's in real life butt wiggle walk. Strange New Worlds season 2, episode 7, Those Old Scientists. Back to you, Ryan.
Oh, thanks.
That's a list.
Now remember, everybody, these are the finalists, and the winner is. Just kidding. That's going to come later. These are the finalists. And in a couple weeks, we're going to have all of the categories with all of the finalists up on a Google form for everybody to vote on the winners. And those winners will be announced at the 2024 Lappy Awards for all the marbles, which will be in the middle of Virtual TrekCon 5.
Oh, and also we are not like listing these in order of how many votes they got in the preliminary polls. I put them in random. So
right, they are alphabetically organized by the fourth letter in each word of each sentence. So the next one is, who is the most interesting character introduced in 2023? Important. This is specifically characters that were introduced for the first time in 2023. This does not include any character that we have seen before in any other Trek iteration of Star Trek. So, for example, Scotty does not count in this category. He is exempt from this category because he was not first introduced in 2023. We know him very well in other series in the past and movies. These are just characters that we first saw for the first time in 2023. The finalists are, according to all of your votes, Captain Shaw in Picard, Vadic. Remember Vadic, that sinister evildoer. We have Ensign Sidney LaForge. That is one of the LaForge sisters. We have Jack Crusher. If you'll recall, that is Captain Picard's son, and Beverly's son, as you may have guessed. Then we have Nira Ketul, who was, the lawyer lady in that courtroom drama episode.
Awesome.
Of Strange New Worlds. Then we have Erica Tendi of Lower Decks. That's Tendy's sister. Remember Devana Tendy's sister? We like her. She was in 2 episodes now. And that's it. That's all of them. That's all the finalists. There are no others. Okay, there's one more. And it's maybe Anne-Marie's favorite. Yes. That's why I was watching you. You're like, wait, no, there's still one more. It's my favorite. Pelia.
Love her.
Yeah.
Pelia and her fanny pack. Yeah.
Does she have a fanny pack too?
Yes. It matches her uniform.
Oh, yeah. So that's in Strange New Worlds, of course, the new engineer. She's probably going to be a mentor to Scotty now.
She's friends with Amanda Grayson. She's amazing.
Mm-hmm. She taught Una things.
Mm-hmm.
All kinds of backstory.
She worked in an archaeology department.
Mm-hmm. All right. Dr. Anne-Marie Seagull, are you ready for the next one?
Yeah. Okay. What is the most exciting moments that made your heart race?
Of 2023.
Sorry. Moments that made your heart race, brought you to the edge of your seat in any of the new episodes or very short tracks of 2023. So first we have Scotty returns to Star Trek. That was the Strange New World season finale for season 2, Hegemony. Next we have Mariner escapes with the Genesis device. The Lower Deck season finale for season 4, Old Friends, New Planets. Enterprise 1701D reveal. That's from Vox, episode 9 of season 3, Picard. Next, we have Riker throws an asteroid at Vadic's ship.
Yeah, that was
season 3,
cool.
Episode 4, no win scenario. Then we have the Borg are behind the red door. Picard season 3, episode 9, Fox. Deanna Troi flies the Enterprise 1701D to save Riker, Picard, Worf, and Jack. That was the season finale of season 3, The Last Generation. Next, we have seen the Enterprise 1701D bridge with the TNG crew and hearing Majel's computer voice. Again, that's episode Vox. Then Seven disobeys Captain Shaw's orders for Picard and Riker in the season 3 premiere of Picard, The Next Generation. Okay, and then lastly, we have I'm Eric Ortega's and I Fly the Ship. Strange New World, season 2, episode 4, Among the Lotus Eaters. That's a great, well-rounded list.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, because we had great, well-rounded episodes. Mm-hmm. Remember, we had 10 episodes of Strange New Worlds. We had 10 episodes of Picard. We had 10 episodes of Lower Decks. We had 5 episodes of very short treks. Melissa's favorite is the 3rd episode when they go to the mucus planet, where everybody's just blowing snot rockets at each other, and that's just hideous.
Microwaves,
and they like eat it too. They were eating it, right? They were microwaving like fish heads with
the worst smell.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that episode made me nearly gag.
Yeah. So anyway, we got to change a sub. Melissa, would you like to read the 6th and penultimate of the finalists in the categories?
Si, senor. Who was the best antagonist of 2023? This is any characters that were in at least one episode in 2023. Sarah? Is that how you say
the undercover Romulan? Yeah, I think it's Sarah.
Sarah. Okay. Strange New Worlds, season 2, episode 3, Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. The Gone. Yes. Strange New Worlds, season 2, episode 10, Hegemony. Vadic. Yes. So good. Picard, season 3, episode 2, Disengage. Nick Locarno. Good to new visit. Anyway, revisit. Lower Decks, season 4, episode 9, The Inner Fight. Agamas, Lower Decks, season 4, episode 7, A Few Badgies More. Vice Admiral
I think it's Pasalk.
Pasalk?
Yeah.
Vice Admiral Pasalk. In Strange New World, season 2, episode 2, Ad Astra Per Aspera.
He was the Vulcan, opposing council lawyer who was against Una.
Right. And Moopsie. Lower Decks, season 4, episode 2. I have no bones yet. I must flee. So, yeah, great choices. I'm glad Moopsie made it. Yay.
Speaking of what you would. Speaking of which, did you know that Flea played the bass in the Alanis Morissette popular song You Ought to Know?
I didn't know he played that.
Speaking of Yet I Must Flee.
I thought you were going to talk
Flea,
about
the bass player from Red Hot Chili Peppers. Yeah. He plays the bass in You Ought to Know. So next time you hear that song, listen, you'll be like, oh yeah, no wonder the bass is really good. It's because he's out there dominating.
Yeah. Wasn't he in a movie? He was in a movie.
Maybe. So the final one is, this is possibly the biggest of all our categories. It's possibly.
It is.
Depends on what you like, everybody. This one is, what is the best new episode of 2023? So out of 35, you all voted and narrowed it down to some finalists. And those finalists are Picard episode 2, Disengage. Picard episode 10, The Last Generation. Strange New Worlds episode 2, Ad Astra per Aspera. Strange New Worlds episode 3, Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. Strange New Worlds episode 6, Lost in Translation. You know, I'm kind of sad that there's no charades. Man, I
was shocked this beat out charades, to be honest.
You know, Sirach and I were talking about this today, and he was shocked too. We're like, well, clearly, it's almost like people have different
Sirach
opinions
needs to get on
in this
Facebook
world.
and vote.
It's almost like everybody's allowed to have their own opinions, which they are. So the next one is Strange New Worlds episode 9, Subspace Rhapsody.
Oh, wow.
And then there's a 5th Strange New Worlds one, but it's kind of halfway a Lower Decks episode, because it is
yes,
episode 7, Those Old Scientists, of course. So I feel like that means there's like 4.5 Strange New Worlds finalists and 2.5 Lower Decks, because there are 2 more. Lower Decks episode 4, Something Borrowed, Something Green. That's the Orion episode. And Lower Decks episode 7, A Few Badgies More.
Which is also the Twaining episode.
Oh,
I'll say that is a quality episode.
Oh my gosh, those
This is
two
a great
are
list.
so cute.
Yeah. So let's check on everybody in the live chat, because the next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be announcing the final 5 categories. The band Europe sang the song The Final Countdown. We will
I
be
love that.
doing the final 5 categories, everybody. So
It's a great workout song. Just saying.
it is. That's a rockin' tune. Oh, Glenn Iverson tells you, Melissa, that Flea was also in one of the Back to the Future movies. That's the answer.
Yes,
Oh.
I did see him in a movie.
All right. It's kind of like when Sting was in Dune. Remember Sting
Yes.
in Dune? They tried to pretend like he was some big ripped guy. He's like, yeah, I'm 143 pounds of intimidation, everybody. And we're like, that doesn't look like somebody I'd be worried about.
But Sting is
Anyway.
just cool. That's why they wanted him in Dune.
He is. All right. So here they are, the final 5 categories. The first one is, now we're going to be doing the universe. So first we did Legacy, which is pre-2017, Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, all those things. Then we did the new stuff, the new and current, everything in 2023. Universe is everything. Old stuff, new stuff, stuff in between, TV episodes, movies, TV movie events, or whatever Section 31 might be. This one will be perfect for that.
Yeah.
So this is that division, universe division.
Robert Kaiser says, even more categories. Yes.
Yep.
Even more.
The final ones, and here they are. This is a very fun one. Which movie would you most like to see on the big screen again? So there are 13 Star Trek movies. If somebody said, hey, this movie theater this month will be playing a Star Trek movie again, would you say, it's got to be Wrath of Khan? I want to see it on the big screen again. Would you say First Contact? Would you say another movie with the word Khan in it besides The Wrath of Khan and First Contact?
Yeah, well, yeah, but the one with the whales, of course. Hello.
Right.
I think I saw that in the movies when it came out. But I don't
So
know.
that's going to be a really fun one. It's not necessarily what's your favorite movie, but what's one movie that you want to be like Paramount, just
Yes.
one more time,
They show movies at Bryant Park in the summer through Paramount, and they're going to show a Star Trek movie. Which one would you want it to be?
Yes. Yes.
The next one is, this is in all the universe. What was the most heartbreaking death? Not the most shocking, not the most grisly, not the most enjoyable, but what was the most heartbreaking death in all of Star Trek?
I know which one.
Some people may say Tasha Yar. Some people may say Jadzia Dax. Some people still might say, bro, Spock. Are you kidding me? The Wrath of Khan, that was heartbreaking.
It was heartbreaking. Right? Yeah. But you know what other death was heartbreaking? Because the episode itself is so emotional, is when Benjamin Sisko dies in The Visitor. That was absolutely heart-wrenching because Jake Sisko, gave up his life.
But is that really, because he didn't stay dead? Well, I guess Spock didn't either in the movies.
Yeah, but you said most heartbreaking, and that was pretty heartbreaking when it was happening.
Yeah.
It's a good one. That's a good one. What about, well, whatever. We'll think of a few more. Right now, the live chat is definitely.
These are actually, I know you already said it, but yeah, they're going to open on Friday. So we'll talk about options on Friday at Star Trek and Chill, and then those polls will go live. So right now we're just announcing the categories. But start thinking.
Wait, what was the episode you were talking about, Melissa?
The Visitor.
But he didn't die, did he?
He did die. I mean,
he just disappeared.
Which is essentially dying. He died for Jake.
No, because then he would have died when he went up to the prophets. Yeah. Right? But he didn't die, as far as we know. So Sisko can never come back.
His physical shell is no longer because it got burned up in that fire pit.
I believe that Sisko is not considered dead, but maybe I'm wrong about this. I thought that Sisko was not considered dead, that he just went up to the what?
Yeah, I feel like Sisko from the finale isn't considered dead.
Right. That's what I think. But then what about in The Visitor?
That I'm not sure. That's a really good,
because he just disappeared and kept coming back. He never died. He just kept coming back, right?
Yeah, but isn't it that they don't think he'll live long enough to come back? It'll be like his last visit, with the timeline.
So he was going to die.
That's the semantics. I can't remember because I don't watch it that often because it's so sad.
Sounds like we all got to rewatch.
But this also goes into what do you consider dead? Just because we don't know where people go when they die. After it's the whole debate about an afterlife, and maybe that's where Sisko was. He was in a purgatory of some sort.
We're confusing a lot of people right now. Somebody in the live chat was saying Jake died in that episode. I'm like, wait, I don't think Jake died.
He did die.
Yeah.
Older Jake
he got
died.
the tether to. Okay, we just got to rewatch. Everybody, we'll get this sorted out by Friday. We got 3 days.
Old
but we can't
Jake
get stuck
did
on
die.
this. He did at the end?
Yeah, that's how how Benjamin came back to life.
Right, that's right. He went to sleepy.
And that
All right.
I was a blubbering mess.
So maybe that's something.
Yeah, that too.
There's a lot of options here, everybody. Okay. The next one this one is really fun. Which one-off aliens are the most fun? Which one-off aliens are the most fun? So that means an alien race that we've only seen in one episode. But they were a lot of fun. Maybe we wouldn't mind seeing them back again. And this is any Star Trek TV or movies or anything.
The Enterpriseians?
Yes.
Like the Enterpriseians.
Yes.
That's a great one.
A couple that I was going to mention, but they were brought back in Lower Decks, so they don't count anymore. Like the Packlids or the Wadi. Yeah.
Yeah, there are a few, but I'm afraid to say them because I'm like, some of these I'm like, were they really meant to be fun? Or are we just having fun with them? I don't know. So anyway, they're one-off aliens. One time, because we got to give those guys some love. They were only in one episode, and they were a lot of fun. So that's that category.
Does
There's gonna be a ton of answers.
Does the aliens from First Contact, the TV episode, count? BB Newirth's
Malcorians. Yes,
Yeah.
if you think that the Malcorians are very fun, then yeah.
I don't know if they are, but
They are a one-off alien.
they are
Malcorians. They're like this, right?
I don't know.
But yeah. So then next is, okay. This one is fun because this one kind of is in the new category. It ties in. It is, who was your favorite reintroduced legacy character in 2023? There were a lot.
It's insane how many there were.
There were a lot of characters in 2023 that were introduced in 2023, but they're legacy characters. For example, Scotty, right? So we're talking about a character from before 2017 that we have not seen since whenever that was, and they were reintroduced in 2023. Scotty is one. Worf, Geordi, Beverly Crusher, Ro.
Well, let me just say about Beverly Crusher.
Rom and Lita
in Prodigy, but it was a hologram version of her, not actually her. So I think Dr. Crusher counts.
Rom and Lita, all kinds of them. Moriarty. Yeah. I mean, that can go on.
Tasha Yar.
Yes.
Tasha Yar, because she had the little thing of her.
Man, you guys, that's not reintroduced.
Well, also,
it was just there was just an image of her somewhere. That's not a reintroduction. They have to have a line, for God's sake. They have to
say, me out.
But yes, that is a character that was brought back. That's true.
But like Young Khan, who we were just talking about, like in Tomorrow, Dr. Chaotica, Michael Sullivan, Cena Jackson,
Nick Locarno.
Goes on forever. So that is the 4th out of 5. And now everybody, Chris Marshall says Geordi. Yep. No, Glenn Iverson. O'Connor came back already in 2022 in Lower Decks and Prodigy. Otherwise, that's a great one.
But Rom and Lita.
That's right.
Exactly.
Okay, so the last one is, well, everybody check out our cool key art that is nearly done. Here it is. So, does anybody have any guesses yet as to what the theme is? So the question is, everybody, what's the theme? But the even bigger question is, how old is Star Trek? How old is Star Trek?
Your definition of is.
Really? Oh, we're almost out of time here. How old is Star Trek, everybody? Some people might say it's, now remember, in 2024, how old will Star Trek be in 2024? Really? Because really, I look at it this way, and maybe others might as well. See, Chuck A says 57 years. That would be conventional wisdom. But does anybody know when The Cage first aired? Well, The Cage, well, first premiered to some viewers, some people, studio heads in 65. Well, when was Star Trek written? Star Trek was written in 1964. Star Trek was pitched in 1964. Star Trek was bought in 1964 and produced in 1964. The Cage was shot in 1964. So 1964 is the year that Star Trek was actually created. In the first half of 64, it was written out. There's a whole lot to it, and we can talk about all of it later. But really, 2024 is the 60th anniversary of Star Trek, even if we didn't find out about it until 2 years later.
Filming actually began on it 59 years ago yesterday.
Right.
Amazing.
So anyway, there we go.
60th anniversary year.
60th anniversary of Star Trek is actually 2024. So the theme, now maybe you can see what the theme is. Anybody listening in, there's a fun graphic here with all kinds of cool light blues and yellows made by the Matt Boardman. Let me zoom out a little bit more. You might get a better idea. A little bit more. There we go. Check this out. So here's the graphic. But if you zoom out to see the full graphic,
which is Las Vegas, which has always been. Oh, this is so beautiful. Love that.
So everybody just listening in, if you can't see it, there are some little weird flower type things in the corners that are reminiscent of The Cage.
Yay!
Because The Cage was written, bought, pitched, and filmed in 1964. So the theme is 60 years of Star Trek and The Cage.
Awesome.
And so we will be diving in deep into The Cage, into the lore of 60 years of Star Trek, into the history of 64 and everything that went on where Star Trek was actually created. Great job to the Matt Boardman. And the final question, we saved it for the end, the final category is actually relevant to that. The question is, what is the best moment in The Cage?
Cool.
So everybody will have to rewatch The Cage.
Oh, darn.
And vote on the best moment as we celebrate 60 years of Star Trek and the thing that started it all, kind of, The Cage.
Well, yeah. That's the best kind of homework.
All right. So we got to move on, everybody. Check it out. For this week, yesterday on the Seventh Rule YouTube channel, we released our full review of, what was it? Oh, it was Up the Long Ladder with Dr. Muhammad Noor. Great Next Generation episode. Lots of DNA talks, and we need an evolutionary biologist to join us. And then on Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern Time on the Falling Tower YouTube channel, we've got our review of Three's a Crowd to close out 80s sitcom month. Three's a Crowd on the Falling Tower YouTube channel with special guest Melissa Longo.
Yay.
And then on Thursday, there might be a nice little surprise for you. Everybody check that out on the Seventh Rule YouTube channel. Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And on Friday, come right back to this channel for some Star Trek and chill, because we will be opening those final 5 categories for your viewing and voting pleasure. The final 5, and then the finalists all go up and we determine the winners.
Oh my gosh.
Then on Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern Time on the Seventh Rule YouTube channel, we've got our review. This is it. What is it? Oh, there it is. We have our season 2 of the Next Generation review special. The Next Generation season 2 review special as we close the book on season 2 on the 7th rule. Check that out. You'll be glad you did. That's it for us. Melissa Longo, I'm tired of hearing myself talking about Star Trek. Can you tell everybody where they can find you online?
At Melissa Longo, Malissa, on social media, and on the introvertedrepublic.com, Walking Art Made by Melissa, and Walking Art Made by Melissa on Patreon, and the YouTube, and all of these wonderful, wonderful things. Excited for the Lappy Awards and Virtual TrekCon. Woo, woo, woo. Oh, and don't forget to check out my shirt and go there and get some shirts. Yeah, it's awesome.
At the Star Trek and Chill online store at the link below in the description box below. What about you, Dr. Anne-Marie Siegel, with the radical new headband that we're all jealous of?
Yeah, I had to stretch it out. At Anne-Marie Siegel 1. That's it.
And everybody, you can find me online on Twitter at RyanTGHusk. That's at RyanTGHusk, or just Virtual TrekCon, the 7th rule, or Falling Tower on your favorite social media, especially YouTube, which is considered social media, by the way, because of all the social stuff we're doing here. We're all talking. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We had a lot of fun. We had so much to tell you. There's so much more to cover on Friday as well. More news items are going to be popping up. It's going to be an insane week. We hope to see you everywhere.
One last
Thank you all for
thing.
joining us. Yes.
The 7th rule Indiegogo. Walter Koenig joining the 7th rule with tons of perks, including hanging out with Sirach Lockton and Walter Koenig. I believe it closes tonight. So this is the last chance you have to holiday shop with that. It makes a great gift and a great experience without any clutter.
I should have remembered that. Thanks, Doctor. Here it is. Check this out. 6 hours left. Oh my goodness. 6 hours left. It is great for all your holiday shopping. You can meet Walter Koenig. You can gift somebody the gift of meeting Walter Koenig. Do you know somebody that loves the original series of Star Trek, but was never able to go to a convention? Maybe they're just not able to. Maybe they have 9 kids. Maybe they don't have the funds. Maybe whatever. Maybe they live in Tanzania. Now they can. It's easy. You can gift it to them. You can gift it to yourself. Go to Indiegogo.com, type in the 7th rule, and there it is. We'd really appreciate that. I'll put it in the live chat as well. The link, here it is.
And because Walter is so adorable.
Oh my God, he's the best.
And they really like the nicest people, because I never wanted to meet actors before. I'm like a little bit shy around them. And then, but like Sirach and Walter are the nicest, warmest people ever. And it's just such a nice experience on the Zoom. I'm so glad that I finally decided to go on the round table when I got a perk.
Walter's very warm because he's plugged in.
He is.
All right, that's it, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate all of y'all, and we will see you next time. And if you want to know about wrestling, put it on the main viewer.